Welcome to the NYXUS podcast, guys. Today I have the one, the only, Rob Volkov. How you doing?
I'm well. Just in advance, I want to let people know that I'm doing a multi-thing setup where I get to talk to y'all here. I'll be right here, try to engage with all of y'all. So anyone has any questions or need me to repeat anything by chance, and anger overdose. I swear, I should just give you an award because you're the real one. So
He's
liking
my
that.
cheerleader. He's my best cheerleader. What's up, Anger?
It's good to see you again. I don't want to ever be like, oh, I take it for granted that you would be here, but I do appreciate it. So, and just to finish what I was saying, I'm obviously going to be here talking. So, in case something with my microphone messes up, you ask me to repeat, or you want to ask a question, or you want to get heated about about a topic, I'm going to try to make sure I give y'all's attention because that's what I'm really here for. Like, my music is just a vehicle to meet y'all, legitimately. So,
We're trying to make connections tonight. We're trying to let you guys meet Rob and his music and all he does. Robert's Rosenthal in the house. Family in the house right now, Rob.
I cannot wait a week from today for our conversation. So thank you.
Ooh, you're gonna be
Thank you.
talking with Rob.
Yes, Rob and Rob.
Rob and Rob. It's gonna be live on YouTube like Robert usually does them.
I think so. I mean, he's the mastermind and all of that.
Well, you
So
let me know, and I'll sit my butt right there with you guys and hang out. Right, a lot of Robs because Rob anger overdose is Rob too. So Rob, and Rob in the house right now.
thank you for most Robs that I know are good people. So
I mean, you three are good people, so I mean, I'm in good company right now. Uh,
of course,
so yes, I invited Rob today on the podcast so we could talk about his song. He has a brand new song coming out tomorrow with two pretty awesome features.
yes, I'm very excited. First and foremost, thank you so much, Miss Melanie Nix, for having me on here, for giving me the opportunity to talk to the people. And I've been watching you, and obviously we can't share too much, but we obviously have a unique friendship over the past couple of years, and I've watched you grow this thing from the beginning, and it's really awesome to see people come together when music can be divisive and competitive. And I used to be that way for a whole decade about music, but now I get to just enjoy music and watch my friends do well, and just I'm only competitive with myself.
We
But
were all that way, all very competitive, all very. I'll step over you to get to where I gotta go. Death Pigeon, there's another supporter.
Death
Um,
Pigeon, how are you, my friend?
But guys, yes, make connections. These connections are important in the music world. Rob is one that you want to make. I'm not gonna,
Too kind, too
I'm
kind.
not gonna make him blush too much, guys. But Rob is a connection you want to make. He's very passionate about what he does.
I mean, obviously, I don't get to do this as a full time career, and I'm kind of glad because I feel like for the past decade of me doing music and shows and promoting, I'll be honest, like it blurred my vision to enjoying music and becoming an elitist and just taking for granted everybody else doing it and everyone deserving to win just as much as I do. But the fact that I don't get to do this full time doesn't mean that my passion isn't full time. So like, if I'm not doing something like this, which is my first one in years, I think, um, it's usually me listening to podcasts, music podcasts, or production, audio engineering, or listening to bands and music and studying, and just that's I live for this stuff. Like it's my job, it's my business, and then it's my music and my
Ah,
friendships.
absolutely. Anger overdose said so much better these days. Less boundaries, genre breaking. It's awesome. If we could stop gatekeeping.
There's gonna be also shout out Blackwater Drowning, awesome band. I played with them in my other band Discerner last August. It's a killer band, and I love that you're wearing the hat. So I don't think they know me, but I mean, we played a local 506 August 5th. You can that way I have receipts for it. That was a band called Discerner, playing bass like a maniac.
I
But
mean,
awesome
it's
band.
still cool. It's still cool. Blackwater is an awesome band. We went to here. We went to Brewstock. Check this out. Look what I got at Brewstock. It's a little coin,
That's awesome.
and it
That's
has
really
all
cool.
the bands that were at Brewstock. We got to see Blackwater. We got to see, of course, Dying Oath. And we got to see Nailbite. Wow. And a kid.
That's stacked.
And I got to see State of Illusions.
State of Illusion, I love that band, which obviously we could talk about that later on.
Exactly.
We'll
Exactly.
talk.
That's why I figured I'd do a little wink towards them. We saw them over
Yes,
there.
I love. If Jacob sees this, Jacob, Bryce, Shandon, you see this, I love you all.
Amazing guys. Amazing guys. They were very,
Yes.
very nice also at the merch table. They were, we got to meet a lot of the bands and A Killer's Confession. What an awesome band. Mike Stover in the house.
Mike, I'm so grateful that you allowed me to be on your interview last week. That was other than me not talking loud enough. Much love to you too, Mike. But not
Much love,
talking.
Mike.
That was a really good conversation. I hope that gives people a little insight behind this noggin that's full of music related things.
Mike is another person that doesn't have the cookie cutter interviews. Robert Rosenthal. Like, you guys, hit them up for interviews. Hit Robert, hit Mike. They don't have the what kind of gear do you use equipment. They have questions like me, open ended, where we'll have a full conversation. I've been interviewed by both of them also when I was back with, the band that shall not be named anymore.
Mm.
So, Rob, let's hit a few questions.
Let's go for it. And feel free to anybody who's on here to ask me questions too, because I'd love to engage with y'all as well. Again, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Ask him as many questions as you can. That's what he wants. So, when did you get started? When did you know that music was going to be a big part of your life?
You know, I've said this before that I feel like I've had to rediscover my passion for music and performing it. Um, as a kid, I don't know where it came from really. Just I remember one of my first memories is 5 years old. Just I think I was around my sister, who is very distant. She's much older than me, so she just came to visit, and she was playing Kiss, and I was one of her favorite bands from her childhood. But my mom, for whatever reason, her mother, and say mom or whatever, was like, turn that off. But I was like, what is that? And my sister would say it was a guitar. So I remember asking my mom for an acoustic, because that's like, I thought, that was a guitar. I didn't know. I was 5. And at a spite, she bought one for my brother. My brother broke it. So I knew, seeing a broken guitar, I was like, my heart, I want a guitar. And
It hurt.
it did hurt. I was like, if she only knew, I would have been a prodigy. I'm kidding. I don't know.
We
I'm
never
kidding.
know. We never
10
know.
years. So 10 years later, I
Yeah.
pick up guitar on my own at 15, dabble with it. I found some nylon string guitars in the attic, just snooping around. Probably shouldn't have been. And I guess what happened for me is, like, I started fiddling with it, and I was homeschooled up until the 10th grade. So my mom would always have like classical music on satellite playing while we did our studies. So it got to a point I would like rush to do the schoolwork and then go get the guitar secretly if my mom's somewhere else or running
Busy.
errands. And I would just start trying to figure it out. Like, what is this? How are they doing this? How are they, and I started realizing that, the one thing about being homeschooled that was great is just I would have as much time as I want as long as I got everything situated to do guitar. So that was where, I started getting into music, and I was like, I really like this. It's helping my brain rewire, because when I was not a good student, I was always getting C's and D's. I would be like it would be a prayer, a miracle to get a C in middle school and in elementary, and in high school I was getting A's and B's because I was able to like use music as an avenue to kind of center myself. So I realized that with those kind of experiences that I need music to be like the thing that helps me get through life. Like, I listen to music all the time while I'm working, on the road, podcasts. Like, there's never a silent moment. I even listen to music when I sleep. Not metal, just for the record. I have a few select Palmer songs but I want music playing all the time.
Now I'm disappointed. I thought like big heavy metal as you're sleeping. No, I'm
Well, I
kidding. I'm
mean,
kidding.
there was a time that I would do that. I did a couple like weekend runs in the past with other projects and things like that, or a couple shows back to back, and I would just play, and I would end up like wanting to listen to whatever we were playing, whatever bands we were checking out. But I think for the most part, like my go-tos, I might as well just put out there. Like it's Phineas, so they're a metal band, my favorite band. And if my friends Jacob, John, or Nick see this, Phineas till the end. Um, um, I would be Phineas has like the slower song, and then De El Cuatro and Jaws from Sleep Token, another heavy esque band. And then Novelist has this song, which is a collab, Lying Like I Breathe. So they're metal bands, but not necessarily the metal songs from
Not
those
the
metal
heavy.
bands.
Yes.
So, but it's close enough.
Well, Mike Stover says he'd love to see Life Renewed do the theme song for Castlevania video games. What is this with these interviews? We have Carbon Stone that we asked them to redo My Little Pony. We hit the Almas with Sesame Street. So now it seems like Mike wants you to do Castlevania.
I'm gonna disappoint a lot of people. I'm not a video game person. And I mean, so like I like video games growing up. But the minute I put an electric guitar in my hand, I sold all of my stuff. Nothing else mattered in my life. Like I have a Switch now, but I've spent maybe 3 hours on it since I've had it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I have an Xbox and my kids play on it more than I do because I don't have time.
so just to catch back,
Yep.
I just saw
Anger
Anger.
Overdose.
He said, my fellow Rob. Sorry, we're just gonna call you Anger. I don't want to expose you that like that. I'll call you out like that later. No. Recording or playing live preference. Both equally. They have different. I honestly like from the pandemic and only playing a handful of shows since then. Even now, I haven't played a show since October, since Discerner broke up. I'm losing my mind. Like I'm not mentally adjusted well to handle life without playing live. But I also love creating. I think years ago I would have said just the live portion because when I was younger I didn't play well with others. I wasn't the greatest bandmate. I've always had a vision that was stronger than everybody else's, so I kind of want to spearhead it. But now I want to have fun and still do this while I still have some youth. I'm 31, so I'm not old, but I'm not young. Like I'm getting that age where I feel the aches and pains, but I'm young enough to still have the energy to do what I want and stay up and play shows. And I think it's one of those things that for me, like I love being able to collab, and the fact that I've shifted my brain to really just when there's a cool person, a cool soul, a kindred spirit that I can connect with, it's like, and that's like the creating portion just feels like you're bonding to someone. And that's a feeling like I'm here for the relationships. Like if I don't want a million fans. I want a million. Not that I really am, that's not a goal of mine, but if I were to have a million people, I want a million people that are friends, a million people that I can talk to and talk about real stuff. And the music is just the avenue to get the conversation maker. 90% of my life comes from picking up a guitar. Like I wouldn't have the house I have without it. I wouldn't have had the career path I have without it. Like it was always first. So in a lot of ways,
That's how we met. Music.
Exactly. I wouldn't have met you. None of you I would have met. There's nobody I know. I have like maybe 2 or 3 people that I know in that hundreds of maybe thousands of people I've met in my life and had some conversation with that I didn't meet through music. So, but yeah, honestly, they're both equal right now. Maybe one day I'll play back on stage. So I took it for granted, but now I don't. But if I get to play live, then that will be a very filling part of me that needs to be filled. But I'm also really enjoying collabing and creating and releasing songs, which is part of the reason why we're here.
Anger said facts. Collabs are great. And I mean Rob is one of the chosen people that have been blessed to play on the fucking Blue Ridge stage. Come on now.
That was a really big
he's
blessing.
Very humble. That's one thing you guys have to understand about Rob.
I wish I was humble. I wish I was humble. Here's the thing. This might be crass to say, but
go ahead.
There's a boxer named Mike Tyson. I'm sure everybody's heard of him. He said that
No.
men aren't. No, not at all. Um, you know, he said that men aren't meant to be humble; they're meant to be humbled. And I'm sure that might get some people to think about that, but for me, that's how it was for me at least. Like, you know, I've whether it be because of my skin color and the environment I was in or the family I had, I always had to like fight harder for anything. And, I would be dismissed because of this. I would be dismissed because of I'm more forward than other people. I'm not so much willing to say things softer. And I know even I've had conversations even recently where they were like, "Oh, I'm just inarticulate because I'm can't match my tone to what I say." But the reality is like I've always had to have that grind, and that if I didn't, I wouldn't be alive. Like legitimately would not be alive if I didn't have the drive inside of me to survive childhood stuff, to overcome and overcome as an adult, being jobless or homeless or terrible relationships.
If you
So it became
guys
a part of me.
if you guys want a little insight on Rob's childhood, go back to my episodes on mental health. Rob opened up a lot on these episodes. And I hope that it was healing for you as much as it was healing for everybody else that were on these episodes. That was a
Thank you.
very, very taxing week at the NYXUS podcast. Everybody was exhausted. Exhausted.
It's definitely exhausting to share that kind of stuff, but that's the reason why it's the reason why I do this, because like I think the reality is that music is meant to be an outlet, and I want everyone to know that regardless of where you come from or what your background is and what was done to you, what was your past, the mistakes you made, as long as you're trying to move forward and you're using something like music as a way to express yourself, then that you're meant to be successful. And there's a lot of people that may not feel like they have an outlet for their mental health, or like whether it be drawing or poetry or writing or music or painting. Like everyone needs that catharsis to help them get through life. And this is not unfortunately, fortunately for me, maybe unfortunate for everybody else if you don't like my music, but fortunate for me that this could be something that I can connect with other people. And I know I was homeschooled. I mean, I was lonely.
Yes.
Music got me out of a country, abusive household with on a farm in Amelia, Virginia. Like nobody knows what Amelia, Virginia is. It's a country town on a farm, and it got me out of that kind of outlook of my life to do more of my life. I wouldn't be successful without it, but it was my outlet because it gave me the ability to go out there and meet people and connect. I don't think I would have left. I don't really think I would have ever left Amelia. I probably would have. Probably just wouldn't be here,
Yeah.
legitimately. So, um,
Well,
go
Mike
ahead.
Stover has a question for you.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. Sorry, Mike. Um, the How do you keep the fine line between music, a passion, and business? If you're asking music and business like together, I think a lot of it is like you don't really get a one-on-one on how to run a band when you're starting a band. So I think a lot of people make mistakes. I did up until today. I make mistakes every day, and I think if you put yourself in company with other people that are like-minded, or there's a lot to be said about being a musician, and you go from playing a garage or a basement or a studio spot, and then you go play on a stage, maybe play for friends and fellow local bands, and then you get to play with your favorite bands, opening up for them. You start getting a little taste of like there are levels to this industry, and while you could still create music, hello, I'm gonna get your name wrong, I'm sorry. um
Rock.
okay, Narock, I'm sorry, I saw like the
Yeah, that
yeah,
little. Yeah.
yeah, forgive me.
It's
Hey,
fancy.
it is super cool. um I think the fact that I realized that like I want to create music, I love music, but I also realized like the minute you start putting $1 into something, it starts becoming a business. And the thing is like you start buying guitar gear, you start buying music gear, drum lessons, vocal lessons. You're putting an investment in yourself at the very beginning. And then you're going to apply that to creating, recording, live, microphones, PAs, gear for live, trailer van to pull the stuff into a show. Maybe you have to go, oh, I want to go play with Fashion Burn. Like I did Fashion Burn Tour 2011. I had to sell 50 tickets at $18 each. That's not going to just randomly show up. I got to go out
No.
there, invest time, go to shows, go to the mall back in those days. In hand of Hot Topic and actually put the footwork in to meet people. So
Yep.
at that point, you start realizing like, this thing that I love, I actually got to do work to do the things I want to do with the thing I love. So for me, I always had like the business mind. My parents had both had master degrees, so I was kind of the dumb one in the family. My brother's really smart. My mom and dad were really smart. I wasn't. But I was around people that were to a degree professionally minded. So it
Well, I
made me.
mean, you say you weren't smart. What are we going by? School? Because I mean, I wasn't smart in school either.
I mean,
But if you have a conversation with me, I'm pretty. You know what I mean? I learned a lot out of school. School didn't teach me
the
much.
school of hard knocks, as it were.
Exactly.
And I think there's a lot to be. I mean, that's a different conversation between common sense and book sense and street sense. There's all, but I mean, anywho, I digress. But when you start, like, I was around people that thought professionally. My dad ran businesses. We ran a farm. So there's a level of like, my dad was a very Darth Vader kind of guy, like big, strong Russian, deep voice, get this done, this and the other, very regimented. And they both got master's degrees in management in different kinds. So it's like I started seeing little bits of that without really knowing what that meant. So I always had like going into a band more of a like we need to do this to do this to do this to do this to do this. So, but I didn't balance that with the artist side of it, which when you don't really balance that, it does create animosity with other bandmates because not everyone's going to have the same vision. And I think like remembering that this is still a human experience with creating music, whether you're like sharing your feelings, struggling to write vocals, struggling to write melodies, struggling to write the right riff, changing the song, structuring, getting your emotions and feelings. Like, should we do this? Like even now to this day, I'm collabing with a friend on the song, and there's some stuff that I'm doing with it, and I still got the like, should I? Am I good enough? That kind of feeling, and wanting me to rebuttal, but I realized like there's separating the emotions,
Yeah.
which I wish I could have done so long ago, but separating the emotions to be able to like, this is an art, this is a business, we can still create art, but the business helps us to get it exposed. Because here's the thing, and this is going to be a hot take too. Um, there's a lot of people I've seen over the years say that, oh, we do this for, we don't do this for the fans, we do this for ourselves. And listening to Brian Welch from Korn, which I'm going to take the advice of Korn for the record over maybe a peer in some cases. When they said that, like, the minute you leave the garage to do this, you're doing this for the fans. It's when there's a degree that you have to remember that when you're creating music, anybody can create music, put it on SoundCloud, put it on Bandcamp. You don't got to market it. You don't got to promote it. You got to make a music video for it. You got to play it out. The minute you take this outside of your bedroom, outside of your garage, outside of your studio, you're doing this for exposure, for someone else to appreciate it. And maybe you're not making the music for the people, but if you want the platform to share your art, this would not be possible without Melanie. This would not be possible without Rob from Concert Junkies. This would not be possible without Mike with the Stoverlow. This would not be possible without Fusion Media. It would not be possible without any of these people. And the reality is that the reason why these people are so important is because it's getting you out to people that can give it a chance, that can listen to it, that can love it, that can hate it. So, like, I know that I may be a musician for me, but I create and release music for others. And the minute that this comes out tomorrow or midnight tonight or whatever, it's everybody else's.
Absolutely. And I've heard the song already, guys. I mean, not to like, um, it's really good. It's not what you would expect, but it's gonna hit different. I'm telling you. I'm gonna play three of Rob's songs today, and it has nothing to do with those three. The music stays in the
Mm,
wait till you hear. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm
mm.
just gonna push it because I want people tomorrow to stream that song. Guys, I want you all on the platforms tomorrow. Even if you stream it only once and you don't like it, give Rob a fucking a stream. That's all. That's all I'm gonna
I
ask you
appreciate
guys.
I appreciate that very much. I mean, I want people to, you know, like there are so many people that I want to get the exposure. I love everybody. Hi, Ames. Everybody that's every artist out there. Sepsis. Um, Beheading of a Queen. I've been listening to the podcast. I've been kind of in podcast mode today, trying to absorb as much as I can. I listened to like 4 or 5 straight, and I was like, oh, did I just listen to one big one? Because it just kind of flowed one to another, and it was a good vibe. So, you know, Anger Overdose and anybody else out there dying oath, all of you deserve exposure, and I want everyone to enjoy each other's music. So the fact if you join my, I appreciate it. So like,
That's why I created this podcast, and that's why I will never refuse somebody. I don't care if you got 20 followers, if you got 1 million followers, you have a seat at this table.
it's relationships, and I think that's the most important thing now. With, you know, we have social media that has, in a lot of ways, more divisive in relationships than it should be. But the thing is like with communities like this, communities, the different discords out there, and I'm not saying I'm behind, but I work 80 hours a week. I don't have as much time as I like to be in those places.
You're behind because you're not in our Discord.
I am behind.
Catch up, Rob.
I know, I know.
The man works incredible hours, and then if he's not at work, he's working on his music. Oh, we got somebody that wants to say hi.
Ooh.
The NYXUS mascot.
Yeah.
This is Ghost.
Nothing else matters but Ghost right now.
Right?
Hi, Ghost.
Oh, you have a stinky breath. You can go. Thank you.
Gotta love puppy breath, right?
Right?
Is that a lab?
Uh, a a golden doodle husky shepherd.
That is a unique dog.
Yes, yes. He looks like golden.
He kind of looks like yeah. He's got the husky with like the fur, but he got the golden retriever look with the face and the ears. So
absolutely.
So it'd be interesting.
Puppy.
It'll be interesting to see what he grows into, basically.
We'll see it because he comes and says hi at least once an episode, so you guys will see him grow.
That's awesome.
Who would be your dream collaboration?
Oh my goodness. You know, there's a lot of people that this is going to be interesting. If I had a dream one, like just like nope, like I woke up and this happened, or this realistic, I would really want to have a song produced. It'd be a produced plus artist. It would be me getting produced by Joey Sturgis, or what's the other one I'm thinking of? There's like a really big one that's not Bendis. Jens Bogren. Actually, let's just say that. Not Joey Sturgis. Jens Bogren. And we'd be Ryan Clark on the song. Or Sean McCullough. Sean McCullough might be a 10-minute wink wink. But Ryan Clark above all else. Ryan Clark on a Jens Bogren production. But I'm really like, I've gotten to do as an artist so many. Hi, Juan. My brother.
Up?
I'll be seeing you in a week, buddy. I'm so excited.
I'm gonna have to take a road trip one day and meet up with Rob and Juan somewhere and have some good food.
Oh yeah, the Puerto Rican food we had 2 weeks ago was the bomb. Let's go back there, Juan. Let's go back there, Juan. I'll be in Norfolk. I'll be literally 5 minutes away from that spot, anyways. But yeah, so like I really gotten to do more than I ever thought I would. I've gotten to collab with Daniel Gailey from Phineas, Ryan Kirby from Fit for a King. I've worked for some pretty cool producers. I got to do a song with Taylor Barber from Left to Suffer. I've done a couple other things, but I'm glad that it was brought about the collab part because a lot of life in the music is collaboration. But we'll get into that later.
Well, let's get into one of your songs. I'll let you choose. We go in revision or by faith or.
So, I would say we should go in order, but let's go ahead with By Faith first.
Okay.
Because that's actually a song where I actually have vocals. The other two that are actually, that has my vocals on the two in the beginning.
All right. So at the beginning, it's your vocals. And
Yes.
after that, we could see feature Alvin Triplet of
Yeah, so
Bot Blood.
the singing in the chorus is my best friend Nick West, and the second verse in the outro to the breakdown is Alvin Triplet of Bought by Blood.
Awesome. Well, let's listen to this song, guys. Well, that was by Faith from Life Renewed. Um, did I notice something that said launching from ground zero?
Yes. That is an EP concept. That is all these songs that you will hear and will hear tomorrow are part of a 7-song EP that uh, I actually wrote more or less everything in 2014 and 2015, but just over the years I can kind of get more into the backstory if people have time. But it's just now where I'm releasing everything now, and I don't want to say too much about the future, but I'm just kind of focusing on the single now. But all these songs are part of an EP called "Launching from Ground Zero."
Very nice. What's up, Maddie?
Hey, I'm trying to catch up everybody. If people see me nodding my head and like looking the other way, it's because I'm trying to catch up with everybody. Make sure everyone is important.
He's reading the chat at the same time. He's not just, relying
Yeah.
on me to not miss a message, because I do miss some of your message, guys, sometimes. Um,
So Ames said this is lyrically sweet, and then boom. If she's referring to the song, thank you. That's what I'm hoping for.
she is referring to your song. It is. The lyrics are very nice. Um, um, you have a way of writing your music. You have a way of producing your music that I like a lot.
Oh,
You
thank you.
guys never got to hear what we were working on, and
Yeah,
it would have been sweet.
it
He
would have
had
been.
he had my vocals so crisp, guys. Like, it was like,
I
right
was very,
there.
I was very proud of it too, and it's one of those things that like it's I don't get to collab production wise because I work so much. I mean, doing audio production is like a job, like literally. I
Yes.
mean, people do it for a living, so like there's people that do it for themselves. Like I've hats off to all of you because I know what it feels like to try to write and create and do everything else on top of having jobs and stuff, like life and families and stuff. So like being able to work with you, Melanie, and have like that song sounding what it was, like this would have been something that would just great to have on my portfolio. But what else? The other things that we can't discuss sound amazing as well.
We'll have something at one point. I mean, Rob is with me, anyways. I mean, I don't know if you guys will have all the luck that I have. He's very patient. I hit a really bad writer's block, and then I hit a really bad. I don't know how to find my melody anymore. He took the time to break down the song. He took the time to make a video for me and be like, see this and that and this. So I feel more confident now. I've been working on stuff. So, but that's another conversation that we'll have
Mm.
another day. Mike
It'll be
Silver,
it'll be a lot of fun.
Rob and Mel are such great people. We should start singing the theme song from Golden Girls.
Thank you for being a friend. I hope I didn't butcher that. I did that for Mike. Okay.
We should have a big conversation one night and bring Rob and bring Mike and you and just,
Like
shoot.
we just if we had like and yes, Melanie does rule.
You are awesome, Anger. You guys are all awesome. Like, this is my support system. All these people. I mean, I met Juan in February.
It's
Um,
it's amazing. It's a small world too, because Juan knew me before I knew him, and followed me.
this is why I love my homie.
I need a moment. Uh, okay, so obviously I met Juan before he met me, and I'm sure he followed me, and he can tell his story more about that if he wished to. But like I remember he sent me this one message that I screenshotted and I saved it on my phone, which brought me to tears to think that someone that from the similar area I used to, those are old stomping grounds for me. I was in a band back in the day called Countermeasures, which we would practice in the areas that he lives in, those areas, and play down in the 757 Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk area. So with that being said, like I was like, he lives in those areas that I did, play music in, and the fact that we've connected and hung out and broke bread, and just I can't wait to see him again. And I need more Puerto Rican food in my life. It just has to happen, and it'd be great to, he's definitely like I feel like a long lost brother in a lot of ways for me. Like
I feel like we should have some Juan vocals on some Life Renewed. But I mean, let's not poke too much, because I know that there's some
there
stuff
are
that we
things
can't talk about right now.
there are a lot of things that we can't talk about because Juan and I have had conversations. There are, we it'll come together when it's ready. And I think like I've Juan doesn't like when I say this necessarily, but I'm like, I don't think I'm good enough and worthy enough to be on anything like the Day Parish does.
We all don't like when you say that. We all don't like it. When I meet you, like when we meet in person, if you ever say that, I might punch you in the shoulder or trip you next time you walk by me. Juan, let me know if you need me to trip him for you. I got you.
But I love like the Day Parish. I love what they're about and the message, and like it's funny about the song we just played, By Faith, Bought by Blood. The message and the ministry that Bought by Blood have is very similar to what Let the Day Perish. So at least in some, and obviously everyone's unique, so I'm not trying to compare, but I if they met at the same time, both of those bands were at the same time doing things, they would be like bonded together to do ministry together because they have a similar heart. They love the Lord and not trying to proselytize. So forgive me if this is,
No, no,
I
go
want people to
ahead.
be, uncomfortable with this because even though a lot of my other music that I'll be releasing in the future outside of Life Renewed won't be necessarily faith based, I do have roots in faith. I do have faith, and I don't want to, years when I'm younger, didn't really know how to approach it and share it in a way that people are comfortable with it. But now I want people to this is just my life perspective in the lens that, in a lot of ways, it's more like me wanting to have hope and positivity, even though I don't look at myself as anything good or great or like myself at all. But this is more like what I believe in my heart,
That's
and
why
I
we
want to
love
share that to
you.
others.
We love you a little extra. It's because you can't love yourself, so we'll all love you a little bit more so you could feel it.
And I want
But
to reciprocate as much as I can for everybody.
your faith is important to you and is something that is important. I created this podcast and I gave an open platform to talk about anything. Juan could tell you, Juan talked about his faith, and I have no issue with that. I mean, the last interview I had on Monday, I had a Polinara. She is a Ukrainian artist. Let me tell you that when you guys get to that episode, um, disclaimer, it's a rough episode. We talk about the war, so it is a very very rough episode. But
And my heart, and my hat goes out to there. Luckily, I had a family member that got out of that, so I get it.
that's it. That's it. So I gave her, she was like, before we started the episode, she was like, well, I don't know if I should talk about it because other podcasts don't like to talk politics. And I was like, open. You talk about it's your truth.
It's
That's what
real.
you live every day. Go ahead. She doesn't live there anymore, but she has family. She has her mom. It's so just whatever you need to say, Rob. Don't feel like just say it. Feel free to say it.
I want to be mindful of that. Of course, I appreciate that. I think, like, again, like for me as a person, like I've been someone that has so crass and forward with when I talk to people that it does tend to rub people off the wrong way, and that's kind of thing that's still chases me to this day with people. But I don't think a lot of it is like having a little bit empathy and sympathy to people's situations, and for me, like I've had arguments in the past couple of years about like why am I Christian, this and the other, and for me, it's like, and I'm just gonna say this once because I literally said a word for word to this person. I don't usually like to cuss, but I've literally said this and I won't say it again. That I don't believe what I believe because I'm a good person. I believe what I believe because I'm fucked up, and that's the only thing that's going to make me a better person that I found in this life.
Well,
And
that's what religion is. People need to believe in something. People need to believe in a higher power. Whatever religion we're talking about, Christianity, Buddhism, paganism. I mean, paganism, we have something like 12 gods. I mean, pick one, Um, everybody needs something to believe in to be able to go through life.
and for me, and just where I stand as a whole, is like I believe what I that statement, while maybe a little more vulgar than I would wish to share, I just wanted to be real about it because that's how I feel. Like I'm a messed up person every day. All my mistakes always follow me. Like I can't get away from things that happened from last year or years ago because people like to throw it against me. And the reality is, it's like I believe what I believe because I know that I've tried other things and looked other places, and nothing's ever worked for me. My mental health is bad. My upbringing was horrible, and those things have formed me into the person I am today. And unfortunately, it's taken me until being 31, like as of today, to still look at my life and be able to put things back together. And if it wasn't for what I believe, I wouldn't have even a percentage of love that I have for people and
Yes.
wanting people to feel heard, and more importantly, just I vocalize a lot of what I go through and what I believe because not because I really want to shove a narrative on anybody else, but for me, it's like I want people to hear where I come from because it's my heart, and I want people to feel like I'll be vulnerable and put the bullseye on my head so other people feel like they can speak out and not be afraid. Because the reality is we're so scared because there are people behind a keyboard willing to attack you. There are people in real life that they hear one thing about you and you're written off the rest of your life. There are people that won't give you a chance, that don't want to believe your past, that, you know, because your emotions and feelings are valid. And but they're not always right. But the point
But
is,
they're
like,
valid.
your experiences are valid. What
Yes.
you've been through is valid. And I think the more we can set aside ourselves, our own convoluted opinions, because the narrative says one thing, so let's follow herd mentality, or what we, you know, I don't want people to feel proselytized by me. I don't want people to feel like uncomfortable. Yes, I'm crass and blunt, but I do it because I rather put the bullseye on me, because I am strong enough to survive any sort of negative criticism. I will, you know, I'll cry by myself in a crawl space. Y'all don't have to see it. I'll do it there. I have my own places and my own vices to work through. But the reality is like some people just need to speak up and speak out so other people feel like they can. Because abuse and, you know, childhood traumas and relationship traumas, so many people have to be silent about it. And
Yeah.
I still have things that I'm silent about. So like that's why I do this. That's why I create music like this, to where I don't care if my music's good. I care if my music's relatable. I care if my music has some meaning, and not everyone's gonna like what I write. Every song on the stuff that you'll hear is a little different, because
Yeah.
it's a little flavor of what I can do and what I want to share. But it's all a vehicle for the message.
Well, you've touched a lot of people here because I'm trying to catch up the chat. You could see Rob, Concert Junkies with the Black Hearts. Ames said you should always sing about what you love. Mike Stover said group hug for Rob. Anger Overdose said respect. Mike Stover said amen. Rob, we all are, brother. You're not alone. That's what's up, homie. Uh, you're
Thank you to
not
everyone.
here, nor is your life here for someone else's approval. Juan, I appreciate you too. Um,
I appreciate
appreciate
Juan.
Melanie Nix and this community and family because of the respect and love they show for everyone and anyone. It's that's how it should be.
It
That's
should be.
how. And for your music, even if it's Christian music, it shouldn't stop anybody from listening to it. I listen to Flyleaf.
Love Lacey though. She's such a sweetheart.
Me too. I love her. I love her music. The first time I heard her was in concert. She's
Oh
like
wow.
what, 5 foot something? She's
Yeah,
tiny,
she's
tiny.
tiny.
She was
Yeah.
on stage, and I was about what 4 feet away from her, and she was screaming, "I'm so sick!" And I was like, "Oh my god!" And then she starts singing it all around me, and I was like, "These lyrics are." And I got home and I started researching, and I was like, "Okay, I'm right. It is a Christian band, but you can take the lyrics, and you can mold them around your life."
Yeah, and music can be like, sometimes people want to spread a narrative, and that's cool. That's your truth. Speak your truth. Speak your piece. And I think sometimes music can be like interpreted in a way that helps you. And like in the end of the day, like I love being able to share where I come from, but I also want people to be able to take away something. Like if there's a riff, there's a melody
Yep.
line, there's a lyric that, I mean, we can get into the meaning of my song. I wish I could play it for y'all, because as a premiere, maybe next time I figure out a way that y'all can hear it first. But honestly, there's lyrics. This one of the songs that we'll play before, and then this song that's coming out tomorrow. When and the unique thing about this also is like I don't write lyrics for anyone. I'm not writing the lyrics. I give them like what my heart's feeling towards the song, or the vibe, kind of like what I'm thinking. Or two of the songs that, by the time tomorrow comes around, two of the songs have me on vocals, two of the songs don't. So, but every song has collabs, up to like two collabs each, literally. You know, By Faith had Nick and
Yep.
Alvin. Um, I would probably, the next one we'll probably do Disconnect Reconnect, which has me and my friend Nathan and Noah. And then the last song we'll show has Robert and Jared. So 6 features and 3 songs.
You'll never know what your music will or has done for somebody else, but that's the beauty of music, and that is
100%.
so true. By the way, guys, the NYXUS Music magazine will be out in a few days, and when you do check it out, please make sure to check out the article that I did, a quick article about Rob, right here. That you guys
Aw,
can see.
that's so cool.
We have a quick article, a little Q&A with Rob, and might as well just show it while we're here too.
Aw, thank you.
Let's jump it.
That's so cool.
There he is. Mr. Robert Rosenthal also has some pages in here.
Rob and Rob. See, the Rob's got to stick
The Rob and
together.
Rob.
I'm
You're
so
ready
looking
for the
forward to
centerfold. Oh, Mike, send me that picture. We'll make you a centerfold.
it.
Very like America. I need like bikini like shorts, like USA shorts on, and like Right Overload podcast on your chest or something. America.
I love it. It really does take. There's an old saying. They say like it takes a village to raise a child, and I think that's applicable with like what we do as musicians. Like any one of us could. I see the comment. Don't threaten.
Next issue we'll have Rob from Concert Junkies and Mike as centerfold guys, and cowboy hat and like little jean shorts and stuff. Let's go.
Take my money. Love to see it. Love to see it. With that being said, like I do really believe that it takes a community to make this work. Any one of us were one song away from a song that could change the lives of many and ourselves. And like you never know who needs to hear your song, or if a riff makes it. It could be as simple as like someone picks up your song to sing on for wrestling or for a walkout for an athlete or something. You never know. And that could be like, oh, look, I paid off all these years of thousands of dollars and years and relationships, and now my song's being played on WWE or something. You never know.
It takes that one song.
It really does. And I think the more that we think about the community, because the relationships, because the passion for it, I love hearing the passion that, like, I listened to the sepsis episode a lot, actually, like 3 times, because like listening to William go off, like I would love to sit in the room with him and just put the mic on and see what happens. Because I feel like we would go at it in a good way.
I can bring you guys on. We could do a special episode. I'll bring all the most opinionated people that I've had interviews with, and we'll just sit down, and I'm going to tell everybody, this is all in fun and game. Go ahead. And I'll just sit here like,
why am I the worst musician of you all? Would be the first thing I would say.
Rob,
nah, I'm joking.
Robert said, I can make that happen. I think we can all make that happen. Mike can also make that happen. Mike is like right there with Will. Like
Mike and Will feed off each other, and I would just be watching as the little brother kind of thing. It would be great.
That's why I brought Mike for the interview. I was like, come on in, because, like, you want in on that? See, I told you. All right, let's make it happen, guys.
It would be we'd have to give it like music industry talks, because all of us, like, I record music. I've played in numerous bands, filled in for numerous bands, and been able to see a lot of things from the industries over 15 years. So I think like I have my perspective that, and a lot of hot takes.
I would bring you William from Sepsis, and I'd probably bring Nestor from Dying Oath.
I love Nestor, and
Nestor's a big teddy bear.
If he sees this, I want us to collab together. I have an idea.
I mean, just hit him up. Just hit him up.
Like hearing him and Mindy on this one song that I might have brought up to him. I don't want to say what it is. Oof. They say make it sound better than the original. That's all I'm gonna say.
Are you in contact with Nestor or Mindy?
I've talked to them from time to time. I think I'm just very busy. That's on me more than anything, to be honest.
When you have time, if you want, I'll just talk. I mean, me and Mindy talk a lot because she and her girlfriend Kat do something in the magazine every month.
Oh, nice.
So we kept in contact, and they're really cool people. Like,
I think they do. Was it Fusion? They're Fusion Media Entertainment, correct?
Yes, Fusion Media, Nestor and Mindy, and
I would love to be on there. That would be awesome, because I love them both too. And I've had Mindy on one of my artist spotlights last year, so that was a really good in-depth conversation. At least I thought it was. I enjoyed myself there. It was one of my favorite talks I ever had with when I had that platform. So
Mindy is an incredible person. She's really
very much so.
Really nice to talk to.
I was about to have my Dying Oath bracelet on. It's actually probably in the bathroom in here, to be honest. So
right there, Mindy, me, and Manda. You finally got your dying. I know. I saw it. I saw your dying oat shirt. Um,
So I need to get another keychain.
yeah,
Yeah, I got one of those and a couple
there.
bracelets. So
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
I got Manda a dying oat shirt when we went to see them last weekend. I got the Blackwater hat, and I got my 13-year-old her nail bite T-shirt. Come on,
That's
we brought her
awesome.
to her first metal festival.
That's awesome. Love to hear it. That's amazing. I'm sad because I was in Nashville. Otherwise, I would have been there and I would have been on stage with State of Illusion. But we'll get to that in a minute.
And you were in Nashville for what? For work, I guess.
Music business.
Music business.
I
Oh, look
can't.
at
I
it.
can't. I can't say too much.
We can't talk too much, guys, but we can talk about the song tomorrow that's coming out,
We
though.
can. We can.
Let's talk about that.
So I wish we y'all could hear it now. I'm not trying to be that guy, but this song is unique because all the three songs that have been released come from the metal format, and this song is not of the metal format. It's more rock. Um, and I have collabed with my friend Chris Bernstorff, who is a spoken word poet. So I haven't heard anybody, which if anybody has ever had like a rock or metal artist with a spoken word actually performing on their music, I want to hear it because I've never heard anybody do it, at least on a recorded platform. I've seen it live.
Yeah.
So I thought, even though this is an idea 8 years too late because he did this feature for me in 2015, um, this is an idea I've had. I wanted to have. This is technically the album closer. It's called
Okay.
Ground Zero. So, and I'll just kind of say the storyline of these songs. It's a whole concept of being at the bottom and kind of working your way out of ground zero. So the idea is ground zero is like you're at the bottom where you felt lost and struggling to find who you are and where you are in life, and the duality of like maybe having bitterness against the world and maybe finding a way to not to have bitterness, or maybe losing your faith in what you believe to finding your faith. There's a lot of like vision revision. There's like a two-sided thing, or
Yeah.
disconnect reconnect. So it's meant to sort of like two sides of the same coin of the experience in this life. Some of the songs don't have that duality, but that's kind of the whole concept. That it's a journey through these songs. There's 3 more songs left. That's just going to come out with the EP. My plan is this fall, but I don't want to say too much. And I've been beating that drum for 8 years that it's going to come out. It's going to come out. So at this point, it's like it's going to come out when it comes out. But
You're doing it now.
I
Like,
am. I am now more than ever. One of the reasons why Life Renewed's been always postponed is, so I was in a band called I Pray for an Afterlife, which was like my first serious band where we got to do things. And when that ended, I was still like hot on the iron with passion to write music. And I think at that time I've written probably the best music. So I was kind of like feeling lost what to do, or would it be the end? So I started taking up the path to learn to record, learn to write guitar, learn the song structure, and maybe help other artists that are up and coming, like put their songs together like in pre-production. So Renewing Music Studios is kind of my vehicle for that. And then my friend Nick West, ironically enough, which by Faith Story is like, he was my roommate for a year and a half, and I just moved in with him when I was coming up with the idea of like an EP, or should I just release a song? And I just was kind of like writing riffs, so I just didn't really have anything put together. And I was he was hanging out with me in my room. I'm playing my guitar, and the chorus melody he started singing over, just humming, and I'm like, I really like what you're doing. And I was like, he started coming up with lyrics, and he just randomly, like, he wasn't really a singer. I mean, he sang chorus in middle school and in school, but he wasn't like in a band or anything like that. He was just my best friend, and we both love metal, and that's how we met. We met at a metal show and at a church, and we were still friends to this day. We literally saw NF Monday. So like he's one of my best
pictures.
Yeah, that's Nick West. So I was like, he was kind of teaching me like, dude, you should just have vision. You should just write an EP. And I was like, all right. And so By Faith was inspired. This whole EP concept was inspired by him pushing me to do it. And then since he was singing that melody and he came up with the lyric, By Faith, that was him. I was like, all right, no one else is singing that. That's you.
That's your song, yep.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, I wanted that to be a very strongly faith-based evident, and a lot of it is like the music's meant to have a faith-based background, just because that's again where my roots are, where my convictions are.
But
But it's
I can reassure you though that even though we don't share the same faith, hearing Ground Zero gave me a whole bunch of shivers, goosebumps.
really
I can still relate to the song, even though I obviously know that it's a song
that's
that
what I hope for.
speaks to faith, but I can still relate to it.
That's awesome, because that's what really all I hope for, because like I came from the Christian world and the Christian metal world back in those days, back in the 2008, 2013, when that was like the hot thing. Bands like For Today and Sleeping Giant and Demon Hunter and As I Lay Dying and whatnot. That was the hot thing, and that's kind of when I got reared on that going into the music scene. And obviously people have their feelings about it, but I wanted like I know what my convictions are, but also like I said, I don't believe what I believe because I'm a good person. I believe what I believe because I've tried anything else to feel the pain: drugs, being promiscuous, being crazy, alcohol, like anger. Like, none of that worked for me, and
Yeah,
I've used this was my way to actually be able to find myself. So there's me.
there's you. I'm
Oh
getting
my
it
god.
ready. Oh
Yeah.
no, close your eyes, don't look. Oh no. I'm like that. When I put a
Yeah.
video of me, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to see myself.
I mean, I hate to say so. Obviously, this song is special. I'll just say a quick thing about it.
Yes, go
So
ahead.
it's the latest one I put out. Like, I came out 16 months ago. Nathan and Noah were my close friends in Christian bands in the area. Nathan and Noah, ironically, were in a band together called Greater Sea. But in this case, Nathan has not done a band since Greater Sea, and Noah has done his own indie rock band called Eves. So I wanted to separate there so they have their own exposure from it. But yeah, Nathan is the one who does the screams through a majority of the song. Noah is the chorus, he's the singer, and then he has a couple of yell parts here and there, and then I scream towards the long breakdown. So I'm very proud of the long breakdown. This is I get to do like, if I had better audio production skills, it would have probably like pop off, because everybody's doing like the long like style, like long, like Lorna Shore or
Yeah.
Taylor Barber or vocals like that, or Chelsea Grin's vocals, or Tom Barber, Barbers. I thought of it, Taylor Barber and Tom Barber. I was just put two together. I was like, but
I mean,
this,
even in this moment right now is having Maria Brink. I don't know if you heard the last song they took out, The Purge. I mean, she has her, what is it, 14-second scream that she does in there. So
yeah, my inspiration was always Ryan Kirby, who did that from back in the day with Fit for a King with Creation Destruction song Warpath. So like for me, like again, this song I wrote in 2014 with them. So it was one of those things that again, wish I should have put it out then, but I wouldn't have anything to show you guys now, everyone now. So with that being said, this is probably the most riffy song.
well, we have our first weird comment. I don't jog. I eat cake. I'm sorry.
That's very interesting. The
Yeah.
meme picture kind of looks like a Danny DeVito.
Right? That's what I.
Interesting.
That's what I. Okay.
You made
anyways,
it. You made it.
I made it. There
You
we
made
go.
it. You know, weird comments. Like I've
Okay.
had weird comments. I've had weird comments said to me too when I play live, and they're so weird.
I mean,
Anywho,
this one takes the cake so far. Anger overdose. Check this one out. This
You
one
made
takes
it.
the cake. I made it, guys. Let's listen to "Disconnect, Reconnect" from Rob.
Riff salad.
you go.
I love this song. It's so much fun.
It's so good. It's so good. And that brah is so powerful. Mindy, there she is. How you
I
doing,
love
girl?
Dying Oath. I would love to be on the Fusion Media Entertainment. I'm just gonna put myself out there. Sometimes I don't
Go
like to.
for it. Go
Sometimes I
for
don't
it.
like to beat that drum because I've been doing it for 15 years. But sometimes I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot my shot. Also, I want you and Nessa to collab on a song on a cover with me. I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't care. You can at me later. But I love Dying Oath. I love
If you
Nesta
can't
and
find
Mindy.
Rob, just let me know and I'll make sure you find him. He's a big fan. He wants to work with you, Mindy and Nestor. Uh, I mean, his work speaks for itself. So this is why I'm glad to have him here with me tonight, so I can show off what the guy can do. He's been very quiet. He's been very, and for some reasons, and it's understandable, but it's time now to break through the fucking wall again and just to come out roaring.
That was a good roar. I need to do like TikTok material of that because um, it would be cool to have the part where I go like that live. Like that would be cool
She
to have
said,
me
let's
actually record
go.
that.
Let's go.
The realist. I'm serious. Everybody here probably already knows, but big ups for Dying Oath and unrelenting, unstoppable force. They are. I saw them at Blue Ridge 2021 in that stage. I thought it was Lamb of God opening playing the show. It was insane. It was so much fun. I was like,
they
I
they
swear,
have such an energy about them.
they do. And I was literally, that was the same stage when I played for State of Illusion, which we'll get into that. That I was literally like a football field away, and there's just all this circle pits going on for them. It was such a good show.
It's
I love seeing when like the bands that come from this area that I'm lucky to know or meet or see them this level, like as people see, and like like you and I can talk and stuff like that, they seem bigger and larger than life than the bands who've been doing it forever. It's
I mean,
amazing.
they'll still sit down with you and hug you. Mindy came down from the stage to get a hug before the show and to get some energy because I believe in energy transfer.
That conversation we had last year on the Artist Spotlight I did, that was such a great like real talks, and it was I appreciate if you're still here in the chat, I really appreciate you having the conversation because just it was a really cool bonding moment and a real conversation. We touched on things that like I think not a lot of people get to talk about, and she has a lot to say, and I think people who have real life experiences and real stories, you need to share that wisdom to the world and just be a force, even if people put a bullseye on your head. That's what I'm trying to do.
And we can help Dying Oat, by the way. They're trying for Blue Ridge.
Oh
So
yeah,
if
that's right.
you
Yeah.
guys head to that Blue Ridge page and
Hmm.
comment at Dying Oath, let's try to get them on there.
Third year in a row. Got to make it happen. Third time's a charm, right?
I unfortunately got my answer from Blue Ridge, and we will not. The NYXUS podcast will not be there this year as
Aw,
media, but next year is another year. We've only
of
been doing
course.
this for 7 months, so I wasn't expecting anything.
But you put your name out there, and that's what it is. Here's the thing: the people that still, I was listening to somebody talk about this the other day. If you're past your 30s and you've been consistently doing this, I think the thing is like if you keep pushing forward, you keep trying to persevere, it'll come and happen because so many people, like I sometimes have inconsistency. Well, I do have inconsistency with releasing music and doing music stuff because I get discouraged a lot because a lot of times it is the weight of me. I've been in a project where I spent $15,000 between music videos, releasing songs, and for marketing, and that nearly broke me. And like it's discouraging. And but if you keep beating that drum, you keep trying, you keep pushing, like sometimes what you want out of life will happen. So
Absolutely.
that's why like even though I subconsciously I'm like stop talking, no one cares. It's back in my head. It's what it feels like. I'm silly, but
That's
I'm just gonna take that shot. That's all it
my
is.
my brain's the same way. Like sometimes I'll re-listen to some interviews and I'm like, ah, that sounds stupid, but I don't. I don't. I gotta ask the questions. I gotta poke at you guys and get some answers. Um, I mean, it is Mindy said, "Nothing amazing comes easy. Keep pushing." Exactly.
Very true. And thank you, Mindy, regarding saying that you enjoyed chatting with both of you. Referred to both of us. I'm assuming she's speaking to me too. Obviously, she's going to say that to you because you're the best, Melanie. But yeah, I'm assuming she means both of us. But if that's the case, thank you, Mindy. If not, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with the comments over here.
I know. I know.
I'm acting ADD. Squirrel. Like
don't say that. I'm gonna look for it too, Rob. What are you doing to me?
I'm so sorry.
I almost went where?
At least we're friends and we get it.
ADD brains together, they don't work. Shiny things have, I did that during the show. Like
goldfish gets me. When someone's goldfish, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Goldfish is what gets me, but so I'm really curious by the end of this, like what's everyone's favorite of the three that I've released already. What are their favorites? What for the two that you've heard? What are your favorite? Which one's your favorite?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't played yet.
Oh, the one that of the three that's released. Okay,
that one's right. My favorite. That one hits home. That one has such an important message behind it. But before we get to that one, let's talk about you and State of Illusion.
So that all ties into this next song they're releasing tomorrow because such an amazing story. I wish Jacob was here to at least comment because that would be amazing. Jacob Porter's the vocalist that is on the single tomorrow, Ground Zero. Please go check them out. Please go check out Save Illusion. An underrated songwriter, underrated vocalist, and they're also going on tour with Cold for 2 weeks. Such a huge, it's a 20-year anniversary of one of their records. I don't follow Cold, so forgive me if I don't know what record. But if you get a chance to see them, please do. Absolutely amazing band. Amazing. Jacob's an amazing person. So in 2021, missing playing stage, I don't even know when he added me on Facebook. He just put out there, he said he's looking for guitar for a gig. I was like, why not? I'm not playing shows and I want to be playing shows and I'm just in a project that isn't able to play shows. So I reached out to him. And
State of Illusion.
State of Illusion. Yes, State of Illusion. And Jacob kind of, it's not that a secret now, but it was a secret then that he was like, yeah, don't tell anybody this, but this is, we need a guitarist for Blue Ridge. And I'm like, what? Are you sure? Are you kidding me? Like, really? Like, yeah, I mean, I still had to try out for the spot to make sure I can do it. And that was one of the hardest summers of my life. I don't want to get into what caused it that way, but like, I would legitimately work 7 days a week, 6 to 7. I think that was the week. That was like that summer. I would have like 29 days working and 1 day off. That's how busy I was. And it was like, I was like, yeah, I would love to. And because like, I want to play Blue Ridge again. I just want to play again. But definitely playing festivals is one of the coolest experiences of my life. Like that was a great year too, just because of like Dying Oath and so many other artists that I knew, Revenant, War, Artusia, so many other bands that I knew that I follow were playing that, and there are people that I've seen at shows or I knew the people personally. It was cool to see them on those stages and playing just as good, if not better, as everybody else that everyone's coming to see. Just seeing everybody kill it, and I would love to see more of that happening because I really do think that given the platform that like so many people are missing out on amazing artists. So getting the opportunity to even do that was shocking, and I still had to try out and still had to go through it. And honestly, I said this to Jacob numerous times, and I'll say it again, that he has so much grace, and if he didn't, he should have, in my opinion, in some ways, should have not let me play because I was struggling. I was working, like, again, 29 days straight, trying to learn at night, trying to write music for this project, dealing with a lot of personal trauma and stuff. And I would be literally, like, working here, which is 3 hours away from where I live. And I would, like, leave work early on a Sunday, practice in a parking lot in between my job here. Like, I'll finish. Like, we had practice at, like, 3 o'clock on Sunday. So yeah. I would like get off work at 12. I'm an hour away from when they play in, I don't want to say, South Carolina. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to put it out there because they don't want to know. No. But in South Carolina is where they practice. So I would drive where I'm at, which is about over an hour away. I would like get a sandwich in a Burger King and like eat, and then have the guitar sit on my truck and run through the set in my headphones just so I could be fresh. Because I was like, oh man, if I don't have it together, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be kicked off. It was stressful, and we got through it. I honestly thought it was a miracle because I had mental breakdowns on those Sundays. Like I'm trying to balance everything in my life, but like this is the opportunity of a
It's
lifetime.
a lot. It's like working 29 days a month, and then, but like you said, do you want to miss this opportunity? I
I
mean,
just,
now Jacob is on your song.
yeah, and that's the thing that's amazing. Like I didn't want to disappoint Jacob. He got another guitar player who was in the band, Shannon, who's a ripper. That guy is a ripper. That guy is so good. So when he came in to be the lead, I'm like, "Yep, I'm gonna be replaced. Here you go, Jake. Here you go, Jacob." I just felt defeated, and I was like, "I gotta do good. I gotta do good." And I was having like crying in parking lots, like thinking, "Man, I'm gonna fail this. I'm gonna be disappointment." Like he had so much patience, and it was getting to the point. It was like mid-July, and to find another guitar player to learn the songs and be ready for Blue Ridge and have it tight, that would have been extremely difficult for them, and I didn't want to disappoint them. So it got to the point that it was an amazing time though. Like that was my saving grace in how terrible my life was since the start of the pandemic, and the situation I was in. That was my saving grace. Like that Blue Ridge experience was like my lifeline and all of that of all 2021. Like to be able to do that and to share the stage with them and play those songs, one of my favorites. Absolutely one of my favorites. I encourage everybody. Starlight from State of Illusion is probably one of the best masterpieces I've ever heard. It's just my favorite song. And when I heard it, I was like, that's going to be extremely hard to play, but I got to play it. And so whenever they've already said, whenever I'm, at a show that they're playing with them in advance, and I get to jump on stage and do it with them again. Such an amazing song. But, knowing him and his passion for music and how hard he works, and he's kept that State of Illusion going since high school for him. So we're talking, I think,
Wow.
14. Yeah, so that's been his since then, since 2006, if I'm correct. So
Wow.
he's a hardworking, passionate guy, a really nice guy, just really underrated, talented person. So just the knowing and hearing him firsthand, when I had this song for Ground Zero, I was looking for different singers that had a strong, powerful outro. I wanted a very powerful closer because he's the last voice of the EP, legitimately. So when you hear the song tomorrow, like the lyrics, when he had and where I was going in my life, and I had a couple other people, but it didn't work out really, and I was like, I don't know if I'm worth Jacob's time, but I'm gonna ask because he's so busy working on his stuff and State of Illusion. I didn't want to distract him, obviously. So, he talked about his experience with it. And I'll let him tell how he felt about the song. He seems to love it, so I'll take that. I mean, he was on it. So, but when I heard that, I think that's really blessed to have these different features on different songs, and I might give them like what my idea is behind it, but they take it and they go with it. Or sometimes maybe one person will already write something. In this case, Chris did his spoken word part first,
Okay.
so that was done back in 2015. So I was like, just whatever you feel. This is an album closer that kind of closes the whole concept of the EP, and Chris took that and wrote his part where it basically was a summary of the whole EP, which is amazing because he nailed it on what he wanted to share. And then hearing Jacob, I remember hearing when he says the line, which is the last line of the album, is "Can you heal my heart again?" And I just get chills every time I hear it. It brings me like chills, or near weepy eyes, because it's like his voice was like the most powerful voice I could ever ask to be on that part, to be and the album and the EP and the song. Absolutely amazing. So to have this song, which comes from a metal musician, as everyone will know me for, but it's a little indie rock spoken word with rock, hard rock. Like, I love those genres. I would love to make more music like it, but I wanted to give this whole EP, launching Ground Zero, just a little taste of everything I can do. Obviously, I have some strengths, like in the metalcore aspect to it, because By Faith is like very kill switch engage, I can tell you my influences straight up, like Killswitch Engage, War of Ages, Unearth kind of thing. And then basically the song that we just heard, Disconnect Reconnect, that's more on the gent style, just more forevermore, forevermore riffier. Like if you like Invent Animate, I would say Invent Animate, Forevermore, I the Breather. That's kind of where I went with that. Just more on the more like melodic riffage, but also a lot of just it's just riff salad basically. That was my that was my way of like that's the song. And then the song when I released the EP, there's a song that's more on the thrash side. That there's two songs I've written on this EP that are like I'm gonna show everybody what I can do as a guitar player. Like I'm gonna push myself to be like, I can riff. Like I can throw down. But By Faith and the song that we're gonna play next are more structured. That it has a balance. That's got like a Demon Hunter influence for me. And a fun note about it is also my Pray for an Afterlife, which was the first serious band I started. I had some demos I worked on. That this was actually one of those original demos, and I just when we didn't use it, I just dissected it and created this song. Do you want me to share a little bit after it or before we play it?
That's completely up to you. Let them listen to it first. Let them get the lyrics, get hit with it, and then we can talk about it a bit.
Yeah, I think so. As you can see, we should probably put out there like this does touch a very important and sensitive subject. So,
Disclaimer to everybody.
Yeah.
The video is deep. The video touched a very very touchy subject. So yes, obviously, viewer discretion on this one. Nothing gory, but it'll hit you right here in your heart. Here we go. Anger Overdose said music slays. That song gives me all the feelings. You're muted right now.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah, I
No
just
worries.
my phone said like it was dying, so I was just gonna take the opportunity to like give it a little juice. So I'm good right now. It's above 20, so I should have like some time. Thank you everyone for watching it and listening to it. I really do hope that past, present, future, whatever the case may be, I hope y'all can relate to it and enjoy it. Um, give it a chance. The music videos out there. Please, I know this is kind of a hard thing to just show someone, and I know maybe I had some criticisms about me showing it so blatantly like that. But for me, it was like I needed to this was my experience. This is not someone else's. I did this music video many years ago, actually, believe it or not. About 2017, 2018, I worked on it. It was in a different form. And the song was done, like both people who featured did this in 2015. So like this song's just sitting on my computer for, at the time, that was 6 years, and it came out in 2021. So that's been 6 years. It's just been sitting on my computer, and it just got to the point in my life where how bad things were during the shutdown, and that was my house that and me reliving that. And I think like this, I wanted to show like the black and white, the reason why it's like that, which became a creative expression, was like that was filmed with a different camera. So like it looks a little more pixelated a little bit if it was in color, versus when we redid it in 2021, it's more crisp and clear. Yeah. So we kind of use that as a contrast of like me still struggling with my mental health now, and that those experiences carry with me, while still being able to reflect on those, crossing sides with maybe me having a weapon in my hand now versus then. And the really unique thing about this story is that not only, we've all struggled, I won't say we all, but many of us have struggled with, suicidal thoughts and, tendencies or attempts. I've done all the above. And in this case, my friend Josiah, who is in the video, is the one who actually did the same exact thing. So like, it was me basically go to him and saying, hey man, do you remember what happened in 2013? And he was also my bandmate in Pray for an Afterlife too. So not only the relationship with a bandmate, someone who I lived with, but also that happening to us. And very hard on us. It shook us up for a while. Still shakes me up to this day. But I was like, if I'm going to share this thing that is so real to so many of us, I'm going to show it in the most genuine and in-your-face way, because
it is so powerful.
Thank you.
Powerful. I mean, I watched it. It's not my first time watching it, and every time I watch it, that one part where the music stops and the car just pulls up.
God, what a scene! Oh my gosh, that scene.
And what are those lyrics like right now? Like at the top of my head, I can't remember.
It might be easier for you to cut this life short.
Yeah, but then that part he said.
And then I created you to fly, and that picks up to the chorus.
Like it is perfect with the car coming in, and knowing you get the feeling, like you're almost sharing his feeling of holy, get there, let's go, like
just re-go. I could feel how I felt redoing that video, and I could feel what happened, and I could feel that still to this day. Like it's been 10 years since that incident. September 26th, 2013. So almost 10 years to the day, but more or less the same thing. Just remembering what that experience felt like, and then reliving that. I just remember we literally blood, sweat, and tears, because he actually got injured, cut with all the stuff that we were doing and all that. And then just that acting from that scene, and just having him run up there, literally filming him running and filming him up there, and just that whole incident, like it still gives me chills, because it's like it's literally reliving that experience. And
did it help you guys heal?
It's a lot for us, because like, I still struggle with it to this day. Yeah. What was healing was to the people, like there are certain people in our relationship, kind of was one of those, like, you sober up with the reality of things like this. And then even now, like I'm not going to put people's business out there, but like I had a family friend take their life Sunday, and I've had this past Sunday, and I've had friends like who have told me that their friends tried or did, and it's like I'm hearing more and more in the past. I mean, it happens all the time, but like in the past month, I've literally heard 7 different accounts of this subject that's happened decently enough to people close to me and to me. So like, it's one of those things that this stuff doesn't age, and like it's not like the song's dated. Maybe the song sonically doesn't sound as good as other stuff, but like the message doesn't age. And to know that like I lived through that, Josiah is my one of my closest friends who lived seeing that and stopped me, and then just it's one of those things that it's really one of those things that you can't find a cure for something no one can see.
Yeah.
So if you don't put it out there, you people like we should not take that subject seriously when the person's gone. It's too late. It might be not too late for someone else, but it's too late for someone.
But for that person, it's too late.
Yes, and it's over, and it's a lot to think about. Like, I am blessed to have lived and survived. I've survived childhood abuse and molestation and gaslighting as a child, and death attempts from my parents trying to kill me in my childhood. I've survived suicide attempts. I've survived toxic relationships to live the story, to hopefully that I could share the story. So maybe it's hard to deal with and watch and listen to, but I hope that this is something that it's like a sobering up moment. Like, look, this is what it really looks like on the other side of someone you don't know. Some cases you do put it on Facebook. It was really hard for me creatively to put this in a way where it touches on different situations where some people do talk about wanting to end their life, and they do. And some people just vent. Some people need that release. A lot of people struggle with mental health, and they want that release of that pressure in their head what makes them feel like they're at the lowest. And it's real. It's, all their emotions and feelings are valid. So it was very hard creatively for me to say, hey, I'm going to just put this out there for everyone to see. And it was very raw and very vulnerable and very hard on me, even to this day, for me to watch it, because I've lived through that, and I still fight those demons to this day. Again, another beautiful thing, which I had no vocals on this. I did not write any lyrics, and I just gave both those guys who never met each other in real life. One of them is Jared Booker, who sings. He's the singer. He does screams in one part. He does the I Created You to Fly also. He was one of my close friends who I filled in for his band Isaac Eli back a decade ago. So he tracked this in 2014. And then my friend Robert Short actually physically tracked it in my house in 2014. So like this song's been sitting on with me for years. One of the things that I thought about and when I released this is like I told him my story. Jared actually has seen me struggle with this stuff. Robert not so much. So when they fed off each other, hearing how like JB puts it in, like even Jared, when we talked, we did a live stream about it when we released 2 years ago. He said that like it really was amazing to hear how I called him JB, but Jared completed the song and brought that message out, and it just completed with this feeling like it always gets me that my voice is louder than the demons that you struggle with. It always gets me because it's like that's how it feels like. And you can take that as a friend trying to tell you not to struggle, or faith in God. He's a pastor, so he has that perspective. And as again my faith, but also like finding like my voice is louder. Like if it's me calling you on the phone, telling you like don't take your life, please don't. Like so he has this part in the verse after the first verse where he goes, "Don't give up yet. Don't take this life away from my child. You've been created you to fly." And like that's him saying like answering back like don't give up yet.
Yeah. No, it's a very powerful song. It's well written. Musically, lyrics. Like I said, the video gives me chills every time. When you get to that part where the fucking car pulls up, and I just want to scream. Like I feel like I'm living it with you. Like.
Yeah.
I haven't. I have a hard time watching the video.
Me too.
Because it's the reality of things. It's something that you went through. It's something that other people go through. Obviously not exactly the same because we're all
Mm,
individuals. But it's something we talk about a lot on the podcast, and it's mental health.
it
And I
is.
think your music, I think this song, yes, it's a hard message. Yes, it hits hard, but it needs to be out there. And I'm glad and I thank you for putting that song out there.
Thank you. I hope anybody that has that listens to this or listens to this, and whether it be audio form or video, um, please, you could use that song to help somebody if that's what it's meant for, to put it out there. Like, like mental health struggles are not always seen, so I put it out there to show you like the realities of what's unseen. um I want this, I use that as a form of ministry. I use it as a way of just connecting with other people, and I know it's a lot for a lot of people to deal with, but I think like being real, like someone's got to be bold and put it out there, and that's what advocating is all about, like standing up and speaking out for those who don't or afraid to, because a lot of people are. Not to cut this short, but I am like 10% on my phone.
No
So,
problem. I was about to tell you, it's getting late. I know you work in the
mm,
morning.
mm,
Uh, we'll come back. I want to bring you back because you
thank you.
have a lot to say.
I
Um,
do. Um,
and I want to give you the platform to say what you got to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I've been wanting to do this. I've been listening to as many of these I can, trying to follow along as much as I can. Most of the time when I'm working underneath a house, I have no signal, so
Yeah,
I
right?
would I would listen to it more if I had. I can't be like, hey, can I use your Wi-Fi, please? That's a little awkward. I've done that a couple times. I've done that a couple times.
I mean,
I'm not
when you
gonna lie.
have to, you have to.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna tell them I'm trying to listen to the NYXUS podcast, but
Right.
it's
Actually, I
probably
really
why.
need to do a business call and I need your internet. I really, but we'll release,
Um,
the song releases tomorrow.
yes,
So
it's
let's give it a bit of time. And then I'd love
yes.
for you to come back so we can actually play the song, talk about the song.
I would love
Uh,
to. Definitely. Like I've shared a little bit of the context. Please, please give them a chance. Check out Chris Bornstorff on Spotify with his work in iTunes. State of Illusion. Check them out on tour if you can with Cold in September. Shout out to them. Thank you so much. I want to thank them so much for really making this song. It's just a canvas, really. It's just music, and it's not as distorted. It's not metal, so I feel like it's some people can absorb it better than just screams all the time.
it's
But
different.
it is
It,
different, and I'm excited that people get to, hear like the message is most important to me, and the artistic creative expression where
yes.
it's nice to be like, I have one song that has no screams.
Right. But
But
before you leave, Rob, I have to hit you with the NYXUS question because I
of
can't
course.
let you go without it. So, with everything you went through, we've heard a little snippet of your life.
Mm.
If you had a chance to sit down with little Rob, what would you tell yourself?
Hmm. If I could, like metaphorically, if I could time travel back, I
Yep.
would take the song Nate from NF and be like, hey, this is what's going to be like. But realistically, I would say, like, get your mental health in order. I That's one of my biggest things I tell myself. I really wish I went to therapy and really like took that strength to say, you know what, maybe if I was got myself in therapy, I wouldn't have hurt the people I've hurt or the friendships I've ruined or been difficult as a coworker or a bandmate or even my relationships. Like even my last relationship, I could have done better, even though I was under the worst of circumstances. Like take care of your mental health because other people don't understand what I've gone through. They're not going to be able to relate. They're not going to understand. So I have to be able to get myself in order so I am healthier for others. That's my one of my biggest regrets in life now. Like I carry that, and my mistakes still follow me. My
But
past still follows me,
I
even
want
to
to
this
add to
day.
that, though, is that it's never too late.
I do go to therapy now, and I
Yes, you went later on in life, but it's never too late to take care of yourself.
and not to beat myself down, but I know like I know there's people out there that'll always have one perspective of me, and it's fair, and it sucks that I was not in my right mental health or
Yeah.
depression or suicidal, that I just blocked everything out and focused on my suffering.
You get judged by that, but like that, you that's another growing step. That's another, with therapy and everything, you'll get at one point to accept and
and
uh
and I encourage everybody to do the same, because here's the thing, like even when I was younger and in high school, I went to therapy, and the people I talked to always minimized my experiences, and I stopped going because of it. because I kept feeling like I struggling and like they didn't live through being molested and abused like I was. They didn't live through that. Like, how they can tell me my experience is invalid? And here's the thing, that's hard. That's hard for people. And here's the thing, it's okay that you feel what you feel. Your feelings aren't always right, but always remember that your feelings and emotions are valid. And it's important for you to take care of yourself, because if you don't, no one else will.
Absolutely. Sherry. Hi,
I like to
Sherry.
I
I
like to say,
I
go ahead.
can't see your message, but I see you.
I
But
can't see it
no,
either.
see,
Hi,
there's
Sherry.
nothing. But Rob, I'm gonna say thank you because I really want to say thank you before your phone disappears on us.
Yeah,
Please come back at any time. You always have
thank
a
you.
seat right next to me at the
Thank
NYXUS
you.
podcast.
Thank you. Quick shout out to everyone. Like I said, to the artists. Like I said, State of Illusion's going on tour with Cold. Chris Bornstorff. Check them out on Spotify. Um, Shout out to you always. Everybody needs to go back and listen to all your stuff, like I've been doing and will be doing. Um, Constant Junkies. Next Thursday, I'll be live with Rob there. Mike Stover, I did an interview with him as well, so check
It's
that
on
out.
YouTube.
But also everything with the Nexus Radio and the magazine coming up for you. Please check that. Everyone go check that out. And the Stoverla podcast, Infusion Media, and just everybody. And shout out to my friend Kevin Wilkin with Metal Empire Radio. I haven't mentioned it much, but he's been a huge supporter and he's helping me with the release too. So go support him on Station Head over there. That's another person that, if you don't know who that is, link up with that person. He's an amazing guy that loves to support in California and has a
There we
radio
go.
station out there, and he loves to support artists, and he supported me and so many of my friends. So thank you, Anger Overdose. Thank you, everyone who's been on this live stream. Everyone I pretty much said. Juan for Let the Day Perish, Death Pigeon, Sherry, Mindy with Dying Oath. Like, so much love to all of you.
Ames, Maddie, Mike
Ames.
Stover.
Yes. Try to catch up everybody.
We always forget people, but we love you all. Maddie.
Thank you so
we
much.
Love you all.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Ames. I know you're probably asleep now. I think she mentioned
Yeah, she's
that.
Sleeping.
Yeah, it's like 6 hours difference. But before I go, I just want to say all that. Give it a chance. It's going to be on Spotify, iTunes. I'll be putting up the stream video. I'm actually uploading it after I get off of here. A little behind on my duties, but I'll have everything shared on always. And most of all, I won't say most of all. That'd be wrong to say, but least of all. No, but seriously, if anyone needs to talk about anything, you want to ask me, you want to collab with me, you want to ask me about the songs, you want to cuss me out, Rob Volkov, Life Renewed, message me. If any of it means, the music means anything to you, if you want to tell me what's your favorite song, or if you want to, you need prayer, or you just need you need an ear, you need a vent, you want to tell me how bad I am, please.
He only bites if you ask, so don't worry, guys.
I'm not biting. I will bite some food if you ask me to.
Ooh, there we go. That's what we're gonna do, Rob. When we meet up, we're gonna go get some food. But
I'm not too far from you, believe it or not, right now.
Don't say that, because then it makes me mad that we're not meeting up. But we're gonna meet up soon, because
we're about an hour away from each other.
We have magic to create soon, so.
Yes, I have been depressed not being able to release that song.
I know. You guys enjoyed the intro, outro of the podcast. That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna be working on some stuff. Anger, give me that pizza. I'm hungry. All right,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Much love, everybody. Thanks for being here on the NYXUS podcast. Catch me tomorrow for another live. And Rob, tomorrow we're pushing that song.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye,
Good night.
guys.